United States can cripple entire economies without firing a single missile. No invasion, no troops, just the dollar. In today's world, financial power has become more effective than military force. Countries don't just fear armies anymore. They fear sanctions, frozen assets, and being cut off from the global financial system. But this didn't happen overnight. In 1971, a quiet decision in Washington reshaped the global balance of power. It didn't look dramatic at the time, but it changed how trade, oil, debt, and global influence would work for decades. Every time a country trades oil, holds foreign reserves, or borrows money, it strengthens the United States. This is the story of how the US dollar became America's most powerful weapon. For decades, the US dollar was tied directly to gold. Every dollar printed could, in theory, be exchanged for a fixed amount of gold held by the United States. That system created stability. It created trust. And it made the dollar the center of the post-World War II financial order. But by the late 1960s, that system was under pressure. The United States was spending heavily on war, on global commitments, on domestic expansion. More dollars were circulating around the world than there was gold to back them. Foreign governments began to notice, and some began demanding gold in exchange for their dollars. If that continued, America's gold reserves would collapse. So in August 1971, President Nixon made a decision. He ended the dollar's convertibility into gold. Just like that, the global monetary system changed. The dollar was no longer backed by gold. It was backed by something else. And that shift would reshape global power for the next 50 years. If you enjoy deep, strategic breakdowns like this, consider subscribing to America Explained, because this is just the beginning. After 1971, the dollar had a problem. Without gold, it needed a new foundation. That foundation would come from oil. In the early 1970s, the United States reached a strategic agreement with Saudi Arabia, the world's largest oil exporter at the time. The deal was simple. Saudi oil would be priced exclusively in US dollars. In return, the United States would provide military protection and security guarantees. Soon after, other major oil-producing nations followed the same model. And because oil is the most critical commodity in the global economy, every country that needed energy now needed dollars. To buy oil, nations first had to acquire US currency. That single shift created permanent global demand for the dollar. It didn't matter if a country traded with America or not. If it needed oil, it needed dollars. And as oil revenues accumulated, those dollars flowed back into US financial markets, strengthening American banks, American debt markets, and American influence. The dollar was no longer backed by gold. It was backed by global energy demand. But oil was only the beginning. The real power came from the system built around the dollar. Oil created demand. But demand alone doesn't create dominance. What made the dollar powerful was the system built around it. After the oil deal, something bigger began to take shape. Global trade, from commodities to manufacturing, increasingly started settling in US dollars. Central banks around the world began holding dollars as reserves. International loans were issued in dollars. Global debt was denominated in dollars. And the largest financial institutions operated through American banking infrastructure. Over time, this created a cycle. Countries earned dollars through trade. They stored those dollars in U.S. Treasury bonds. That money financed American deficits. And in return, the United States provided liquidity, stability, and access to the global financial system. The dollar was no longer just a currency. It became the unit through which global value was measured. Most international payments flowed through U.S.-linked banking networks. Most global reserves were held in dollars. Most trade was priced in dollars. The world didn't just use the dollar. The world was operating inside a dollar-based system. And once a system reaches that scale, it becomes very hard to replace. For what happens when the country that controls the system decides to use it as leverage? Now here where things change. The system wasn't just powerful. It could be used. Because most international transactions move through dollar clearing banks, the United States sits at a central checkpoint of global money flows. A system that controls global finance holds enormous power. And power can be used. Because most international transactions move through dollar clearing banks, the United States sits at a central checkpoint of global money flows. If a country is cut off from that system, its banks struggle to transact internationally. Its currency weakens. Its economy feels pressure. Over the years, financial sanctions became a strategic tool. Access to the dollar system could be restricted. Assets could be frozen. Global payment networks could be blocked. Unlike traditional warfare, this pressure doesn't require troops. It operates through finance. And because so much of the world depends on dollar liquidity, the impact can be immediate. This is what makes the system powerful. It isn't just widely used. It is deeply embedded. But here the consequence. The more a system is used as leverage, the more others begin searching for alternatives. And today, that search has already begun. Every dominant system eventually faces resistance. And the dollar system is no exception. In recent years, several countries have started exploring alternatives to dollar-based trade. Some have signed bilateral agreements to settle trade in local currencies. Others have increased gold reserves. Some are building independent payment systems to reduce reliance on dollar-clearing networks. The motivation is simple. Reduce exposure. Reduce vulnerability. Increase monetary sovereignty. At the same time, rising geopolitical tensions have accelerated these efforts. The question is no longer whether alternatives are being discussed. The question is whether they can scale. Because replacing a currency is one thing. Replacing an entire financial infrastructure, that's something else entirely. The dollar's dominance is built on liquidity, trust, deep capital markets, and global integration. Those advantages took decades to build, and they cannot be replicated overnight. So is the dollar declining, or is it simply evolving? The dollar's dominance was never accidental. It survived the end of gold. It secured energy markets. It built a global financial infrastructure. And over time, it became deeply embedded in how the world trades, saves, and invests. Today, challenges are emerging. Alternatives are being tested. Systems are being explored. But scale matters. Liquidity matters. Trust matters. And for now, the dollar still holds all three. Dollar power isn't just about currency. It's about networks. It's about leverage. It's about the ability to shape the global economic environment without firing a single shot. The real question is whether the dollar will face competition. It's whether any challenger can replicate the system behind it. Because in global finance, the strongest currency isn't just the most used. It's the one the world cannot operate without. And for now, that currency is still the dollar. If you found this breakdown useful, consider subscribing for more deep dives like this. And let me know your thoughts below. Is dollar dominance secure or changing?